Hello there, VC. I'm Gary, and this is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Thank you very much for tuning in. And this is a contest entry for Logan over at Swellheads Network. And if you haven't checked him out, go check him out. He has got 700 subscribers now, so he's doing pretty good. He has a very eclectic taste in music. And for those of you that, think I'm very unhip, which I am, go check out his channel. He talks about all kinds of different albums, a lot of artists I've never even heard of. He's a pretty funny guy. He's interesting. He's got a wealth of musical knowledge. So definitely go check out his channel when you get a chance. That's Swellheads Network. Anyway, I thought that the topic was interesting. He calls it the #1 fan contest. Basically, he said pick 5 artists or albums that you never see anybody talk about in the vinyl community, and that you think maybe you're a fan of, but nobody else seems to be. Now, I'm not saying nobody is not, nobody's a fan of this band, or, maybe you've talked about some of these bands. I've just never seen it. So first off, I'm going to mention is Patina by Red Dragon Cartel. So this is Jake E. Lee's band. And if you were a fan of him while he was in Ozzy, you might like this. I mean, obviously this sounds different than Ozzy, but this is a pretty good rockin' album right here. A friend of mine turned me on to these guys, and I love this album. Check out the song Speed Bag or Havana. Look that up, and you might be interested in checking that out. Next up is a band from the late 90s, I think, or early 2000s. And it's Drain, STH. This is Freaks of Nature. Unfortunately, they are no longer together. They only put out a couple albums. But I really like them. I love this album. Still like it, when I play it every now and then today. It's an all-female metal band from Sweden. And they're really good. Little trivia note here. The lead singer here, Maria, she ended up marrying Tony Iommi. So, and I'm pretty sure they're still together. Next up is Mechanics by UFO. This, of course, is during the Paul Chapman era. And I have never seen anybody mention this album. I rarely see anybody talk about UFO beyond the Michael Schenker years. I really don't see that many people talking about UFO, to be honest with you. But I love them. And I love this album, too. This is kind of an underdog album. But it has the song on here, The Writer, starts out the album. I love that song. Boy, that's just one of my favorite songs of theirs. And We Belong to the Night starts off the second side, and that's really good. When I saw UFO that last time, they played that song, We Belong to the Night, so that was pretty cool. I really like that. Next up, here's a famous band, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody mention them, especially not this album. This is Eat to the Beat by Blondie. I've had this album forever. I love it. I love this album. I love the drums on here. Clem Burke is one of my favorite rock drummers. And I love the way the drums sound on here. There's the back of it. That's pretty cool. This is just a really good album. Good mix of pop, rock, punk, 60s sound. It's got a little bit of everything on here. This is just a fantastic album. Love this album. Eat to the Beat by Blondie. And then finally, I've got Fight by Doro. This is Doro Pesch, of course, formerly of the band Warlock. She started out pretty young when she was in the 80s. She's been doing solo albums for years now. This has got a lot of good songs on here. Fight, Always Live to Win, Undying, Legends Never Die, which is a song written by Gene Simmons. And she does a version of that here. And it's really great. I love this album. I love solo stuff by Doro. So anyway, those are my 5 picks for albums that I'm a fan of, that I don't know that anybody else is or not. If you are, please leave comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit subscribe. So you can hit that bell there, and you can always know when I'm putting out videos. But in the meantime, like I said, please go out, and if you haven't checked out Swellheads Network, go check Logan out over there on that channel. And until the next time, I'm Gary. This is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Remember, we're on Twitter and Facebook. I will see you down the road.